In three, two, one.
And welcome back to Mortgage Talk with loan originator Robert Bulmer, NMLS number 322918. Myself, Bobby Bulmer, NMLS number 2060902. Today we are back with our special guest, Mr. Raymond Aquino, checking back in with him and kind of getting some updates on his properties, his investments, and kind of what's keeping him in the market right now in these quote-unquote trying times.
Yeah, Raymond, so why don't you start us off?
Hi, guys.
What's going on in your world? And I know that there's some exciting stuff happening. You're even studying to be a realtor. And fill us in on what's going on.
Yes. Hi, guys. Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. And thank you guys for having me back. I missed you guys. It's been a few weeks. But I'm still hustling. I kid you not, guys. Yesterday, I worked a 16-and-a-half-hour day at my W-2 income job. And I'm kind of tired, so if I sound kind of under the weather, it's because I'm just tired, guys. But yeah, so I'm still investing. I'm still trying to get these properties done so I can refinance out of them and supply my bank account with more funds, liquid funds, and get ready to invest in more properties when the deal comes up.
Yeah, adapting with the market, even though. So is anything... We talked about fear mongers and stuff like that. Is anything concerning you with what you're hearing on the news?
Well,
just in general.
That's a good question.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of fear mongers, like you mentioned, and people talk about rising interest rates, the crash, the fall, the sky is falling,
Yeah.
right? But no, guys, we just have to sit down, buckle up, and look at what's really going on with the interest rates, 10-year, as you always mentioned to me, Robert, and the fluctuations in the market, right? So what I'm doing, guys, is just keeping a close eye on my spending at this time, not getting out of hand on where I'm blowing my money, so to speak, and getting ready for any unexpected opportunities that may come up. And like I've mentioned before, just have your reserves and get ready for unexpected expenses at this point.
So, and basically in this market, don't ball out of control, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well,
gotta save a little more.
And then in any market, right?
Yeah,
you always want to be
absolutely.
responsible and save and budget.
Absolutely.
Especially if you want to get to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what we're doing. My wife and I, we're being careful of where we spend our money and just getting ready for the next opportunity, as always.
To be able to purchase something.
Absolutely. And the high interest rates, honestly, guys,
Doesn't even bother you.
it doesn't bother me because I know that I can refinance later on, as long as my formulas make sense and the numbers don't lie, right? So I never fudge the numbers,
Right.
and I always use my formulas to determine whether the property is going to cash flow or not, and that's what we do.
Yeah, well, if you fudge your numbers on your own property, that's gonna definitely hurt you in the end.
Absolutely, right? Oh, you know what? If I can get this much for rent,
Yeah.
and the rents aren't that high in this market,
Yeah.
then you screw yourself. Excuse my language.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't fudge your numbers, guys. Everybody listening, don't do that. That's not good.
No.
Stay honest with the
Stay honest with the numbers. That way you can see your true return and truly what you're making and how it's going.
Absolutely. Keep your margins intact.
And if you're not doing too well, then honesty hurts, unfortunately. But
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, anyone listening out there, just get yourselves ready, right? Reach out to your lenders out there. Get pre-qualified. Call Robert and Bobby. They will help you determine what you can do with the resources you have. And honestly, Robert has helped me from 2019 to this point get to where I'm at by restructuring the properties that we've had, refinancing. And if I didn't do that, honestly, if Robert didn't help me in 2019 with all of this, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So guys, please figure out your resources and get in contact with Robert and Bobby. And you guys want to shout out your MLS or your
Yeah,
information?
absolutely.
It's a good time to shout out the numbers and give everybody's info.
Give us a call, 760-669-7813 with any questions. Also, take a look at the YouTube channel, Mortgage Talk Podcast. All of our videos are up there. We're actually recording as we speak. So go give us a look, a like, a subscribe, and keep listening.
Yeah, so definitely reach out to us. We are active and loan originators. My NMLS is 322918. Bobby's is 2060902. We work with FBC Mortgage, great company. It's an equal housing lender. Their NMLS is 152859. We had a guest on the other day. You've met Bobby Tarango.
Yes.
Well, we had his partner on that he works with, Mike Arias Jr. And he came with some amazing stats. As an investor, you probably heard this. You probably kind of heard. I don't know if you've seen that episode, but we recently posted it on YouTube, just recently. But he was talking about inventory.
Yes.
How inventory staying low, getting back to the fear mongers about we're going to see this crash. I read an article today that was talking about the homes, it's less affordable right now than ever before in history for the average median incomes in pretty much most areas. So
Yes.
affordability is dropping fast. It plays into what we've been talking about is when is it the best time to buy a home? Whenever you can pull it off, whenever you could afford it, whenever you can make it happen and sustain. You know, it's because one house leads to another, and step by step, the house you live in is the first house to buy with the cheapest amount of money, not needing reserves. So I wanted to bring that up to you. Really good episode. I can't wait for you to meet him. He's really just gave all the stats and numbers on what's going on, and it
Awesome.
kind of plays into that article too. And what we're doing is the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. It's more or less affordable, less affordable. And there's not going to be this magic inventory. There's stuff going to happen, but for the most part, people are able to afford their situations. And even if it gets so bad where rates get so low, if you do find a house, because I don't see all this great inventory, you end up having a higher payment than if you purchase now. So there's always pros and cons. I wanted to ask you, because I know your recent project, you bought a 2-unit property, and you actually did an addition and added a 3rd unit, and you also at the same time built an ADU. Everybody's talking about that. You're living it. What have you experienced? I know we've talked about your experiences with contractors, and what have you learned from this experience? Because I know these are your major projects. You're in the wrap-up stage, ready to. These are the projects where you mentioned before we had to restructure everything because what do you want? Do you want one rental or do you want to build it up to 14? Structuring the debt to where you can repeat the process, and then you got to a point where, all right, I'm built. You're doing certain things with cash money, another level we've dreamt about. I know certain things with timing, the supply chain, all this going on. What are you experiencing? What have you learned with this experience?
Oh, guys. Okay, so what I've experienced in the last, I want to say, few months, right? Because we purchased that property in Pinion Hills in August. We closed escrow. It's almost done. I'm about to call for inspections here soon, hopefully this week, if not beginning of next week. Now, as we know, because of COVID, and this was a couple years ago already, but prices have stayed up when it comes to materials, right? So a lot of contractors out there, they didn't give the right estimates, and they gave very low estimates to where they're kind of in the negative now because they didn't account for all this product or all the inventory or whatever the supply to be expensive, right? Inflation, yes. So that's what we're dealing with right now is having maybe to put out a little bit more money to finish the job now at this time. So that's where reserves come into play, and having that extra margin to where if emergencies do come up and you need a little extra money to buy that or to build that extra bathroom or whatever, you have that ready so you're not struggling, right? So whenever you jump into a project, guys, whether it be renovation, building an ADU, or even flipping, you always have to have that extra padding in case of emergencies, right? And that's what I'm experiencing right now.
And I can totally agree with that. And that reserves or that padding you're talking about basically turns, let's say that cost you're talking about basically turns that extra cost into, oh, that sucks, into an inconvenience versus oh, that's more expensive. I can't finish the project because I don't have the reserves.
Yes.